Junko Furuta was a bright and cheerful 17-year-old girl from Misato, Saitama Prefecture, Japan. Born on January 18, 1971, she was known for her friendly personality and strong sense of responsibility. She attended Yashio Minami High School, where she was well liked by her classmates and teachers. Junko was also a diligent student who balanced her studies with a part-time job. Her positive nature and determination made her a role model among her peers. Junko dreamed of a bright future and aspired to one day become an idol. She was not involved in any delinquent activities and led a peaceful life with her family. Her tragic fate shocked everyone who knew her, as she was an innocent girl with her whole life ahead of her. The harrowing events that unfolded in November 1988 forever changed the lives of Junko's family and friends. Her story is a stark reminder of the cruelty that can exist in the world. Junko Furuta's life and untimely death continue to resonate deeply within Japanese society. On November 25, 1988, Junko Furuta was on her way home from her part-time job. It was on this fateful day that she crossed paths with Hiroshi Miyano. Miyano was a local delinquent with connections to the Yakuza, a notorious criminal organization. He had a history of violence and was known for his aggressive behavior. Miyano, along with his friends Nobuharu Minato, Joe Ogura, and Yasushi Watanabe, had been looking for girls to abduct and assault. They spotted Junko riding her bicycle and decided she would be their next victim. Miyano, pretending to be a stranger, approached Junko and kicked her off her bike. He then offered her help, pretending to be a concerned passerby. Unaware of his true intentions, Junko accepted his help. Miyano led her to a nearby warehouse where his friends were waiting. They overpowered her and took her to Minato's house, where they held her captive. This marked the beginning of Junko Furuta's 44 days of unimaginable suffering and torture. For 44 days, Junko Furuta endured unimaginable torture at the hands of her captors. They kept her in Minato's house, deceiving his parents into believing she was his girlfriend. During this period, Junko was subjected to repeated physical and sexual abuse. The boys took turns objects to inflict severe pain. They burned her legs and feet with lighter fluid, forced her to eat live cockroaches, and even made her sleep on a balcony in freezing temperatures. Her captors showed no mercy, enjoying her suffering and treating her as an object of their sadistic pleasure. Despite her deteriorating condition, they continued their abuse without any regard for her life. Junko's health rapidly declined due to the continuous torture. She became malnourished, dehydrated, and severely injured. Her captors prevented her from seeking medical help, leaving her to endure the pain alone. Throughout her ordeal, Junko remained resilient, but her body eventually could no longer withstand the brutality. On January 4, 1989, Junko Furuta's ordeal came to a tragic end. After enduring 44 days of continuous torture, she succumbed to her injuries. Realizing she had died, her captors decided to dispose of her body. They placed her in an oil drum and filled it with concrete to conceal their crime. The drum was then left in a vacant lot in Koto, Tokyo. The discovery of Junko's body was a result of an unrelated investigation. One of the perpetrators, Hiroshi Miyano, was arrested for a different crime. During police questioning, he revealed the location of the oil drum containing Junko's body. The police were shocked to find her remains in such a gruesome state. The revelation of the crime's details sent shockwaves through Japan. The brutality of the torture and the callousness in disposing of her body left the public in disbelief. The discovery marked the beginning of a long and painful journey for Junko's family and friends as they sought justice for her horrific death. The immediate public reaction to the discovery of Junko Furuta's body was one of outrage and disbelief. The brutality of the crime shocked the nation, sparking widespread anger and sorrow. People were horrified by the details of her torture and the inhumanity displayed by her captors. The case quickly gained national attention, with media outlets covering every aspect of the investigation. Public anger was directed not only at the perpetrators, but also at the legal system that allowed such a tragedy to occur. Many people felt that the authorities had failed to protect Junko and that justice needed to be served. The case highlighted significant flaws in the juvenile justice system, particularly in how it handled serious crimes committed by minors. The outpouring of grief and anger led to calls for legal reforms and stricter penalties for such heinous crimes. Vigils and memorials were held to honor Junko's memory and to demand justice for her suffering. The public's reaction played a crucial role in bringing about changes in the legal system to prevent similar tragedies in the future. The sentences given to Junko Furuta's killers were met with widespread outrage and disbelief. Despite the severity of their crimes, the four boys received relatively lenient sentences. They were charged with causing bodily injury resulting in death rather than murder, which led to lighter penalties. Hiroshi Miyano, the ringleader, received a 20-year sentence, while the others received sentences ranging from 5 to 10 years. The leniency of the sentences was attributed to Japan's juvenile laws at the time, which treated offenders under 20 as minors. This meant that the boys were not subject to the harsher penalties that adults would face for similar crimes. Many people felt that the punishment did not fit the crime, given the unimaginable suffering Junko endured. The public's reaction to the sentences was one of outrage and frustration. Many believed that justice had not been served and that the perpetrators should have received harsher penalties. The case highlighted significant flaws in the juvenile justice system and prompted calls for reform to ensure that serious crimes committed by minors were met with appropriate consequences. The public outrage following the sentencing of Junko Furuta's killers was immense and widespread. People were deeply disturbed by the leniency of the sentences, given the horrific nature of the crime. The case became a catalyst for change, as it highlighted the inadequacies of the juvenile justice system in dealing with severe crimes committed by minors. The public's reaction played a significant role in prompting legal reforms in Japan. The case led to changes in the juvenile justice system, including lowering the age of criminal responsibility and allowing for harsher penalties for serious crimes. These reforms aim to ensure that offenders who commit heinous acts are held accountable and that justice is served. The impact of the case on the legal system was profound, as it brought attention to the need for a more balanced approach to juvenile justice. The reforms were intended to address the shortcomings revealed by Junko's case and to prevent similar tragedies in the future. The public's demand for justice and accountability was a driving force behind these changes, demonstrating the power of collective outrage in effecting legal and societal change. Section 8. Reoffending by the perpetrators. Despite the leniency of their sentences, 3 of Junko Furuta's killers reoffended after their release. Nobuharu Minato was involved in an attempted murder in 2018, while Joe Ogura was arrested for assault in 1999. Hiroshi Miyano was implicated in a fraud case, highlighting the failure of the justice system to rehabilitate these individuals. Only Yasushi Watanabe reportedly stayed out of legal trouble after his release. The reoffending of Junko's killers underscored the inadequacies of the juvenile justice system in rehabilitating young offenders. The fact that these individuals committed further crimes after serving their sentences highlighted the need for more effective rehabilitation programs and stricter penalties for serious offenses. The case demonstrated that leniency in sentencing does not always lead to successful rehabilitation. The reoffending also fueled public anger and reinforced the belief that justice was not served in Junko's case. Many felt that the light sentences allowed dangerous individuals to re-enter society without proper rehabilitation. The case served as a stark reminder of the importance of ensuring that justice is not only served, but that it also contributes to the prevention of future crimes. Section 9. The role of the police. The role of the police in Junko Furuta's case has been widely criticized for its failures and missed opportunities to rescue her. Despite multiple chances to intervene, the police were unable to save Junko from her captors. Their inability to act effectively highlighted significant flaws in the law enforcement response to such cases. The police's failure to rescue Junko was a major point of contention and contributed to the public outrage surrounding the case. Many believed that the authorities could have done more to prevent her prolonged suffering and eventual death. The case exposed the need for better training and protocols for handling abduction and torture cases, ensuring that law enforcement can respond more effectively in the future. The criticism of the police's role also led to calls for reforms within law enforcement agencies. The case underscored the importance of timely and decisive action in preventing tragedies like Junko's. The lessons learned from this case have likely influenced changes in police procedures and policies to improve their ability to protect vulnerable individuals and respond to severe crimes. Section 10. The impact on Japanese society. The tragic story of Junko Furuta had a profound impact on Japanese society, leaving a lasting legacy. The brutality of the crime and the leniency of the sentences shocked the nation and brought attention to the flaws in the juvenile justice system. The case sparked widespread public outrage and led to significant legal reforms aimed at addressing these shortcomings. The case also had a broader cultural impact, raising awareness about the vulnerability of young people and the need for better protection measures. It highlighted the importance of ensuring that justice is served and that offenders are held accountable for their actions. The story of Junko Furuta became a symbol of the need for change and the importance of preventing similar tragedies in the future. The legacy of the case continues to influence discussions about juvenile justice and the protection of vulnerable individuals in Japan. The reforms prompted by the case have likely contributed to a more balanced approach to justice, ensuring that serious crimes are met with appropriate penalties. The impact of Junko Furuta's story serves as a reminder of the need for vigilance and the importance of justice in society. Section 11. Remembering Junko Furuta. Remembering Junko Furuta is essential to honoring her memory and acknowledging the suffering she endured. Her tragic story serves as a stark reminder of the consequences of unchecked violence and the importance of justice. It is crucial to keep her memory alive to ensure that similar tragedies are prevented in the future. Efforts to remember Junko Furuta include public awareness campaigns, memorials, and discussions about the case's impact on society. These efforts aim to highlight the need for better protection measures for vulnerable individuals and the importance of holding offenders accountable for their actions. By remembering Junko, society can work towards creating a safer and more just environment for everyone. The legacy of Junko Furuta's story continues to resonate, serving as a powerful reminder of the need for vigilance and justice. Her memory inspires ongoing efforts to improve the juvenile justice system and protect vulnerable individuals from harm. Remembering Junko Furuta is a way to honor her life and ensure that her suffering was not in vain.